G'day, welcome back to G'day's Garage. Today's episode we're going to be doing a service on my Rocket GT, the 1600 kilometre service. It's a little bit involved getting the tank off and all that sort of shit to do the air filter. Yeah, just virtually just the air filter and oil change, and we'll go through all that and see how we go. So first things first, I'm going to take the fuse out for the fuel pump and get rid of the fuel pressure and the fuel line. So let's have a crack at doing that. Which one is it again? 1, 2, 3. That one there. Pull that sucker out. Okay, start her up. There you go, all ready. Right, no fuel pressure left. We should be right to go. All right, it says in the manual that you've got to take the gauge pod off, screws through here, so all the screen, everything's got to come off, but I don't think I'll go that way. I think I'll just undo the bolts down here and just slide it off that way, hang it down here, and that way we can get to the bolt under here to remove the tank. We've got another bolt at the back here, yeah, and then just disconnect everything. We'll have a crack at doing that. Alright, come up under here, undo this Allen head screw in here, and the same on the other side. It's pretty hard to do all this shit one-handed. We'll loosen that one off, and we'll take that one off. Right, I've removed the screen, undone the two screws that hold it in, wrapped it up in a bit of cloth here to protect it, whacked a bit of tape around it just to hold it there, so we can get to this screw down here, release that, and then we can start to lift the tank up. Righto, it's time to lift the tank up. I've got myself a block of wood here. I'll whack that underneath the front, lift it up. Still got a bit of fuel in it. So just whack the block of wood under there like that. Nothing's touching. As you can see, I've covered everything to try and divert any damage. Righto, you've got to release this breather hose here, which comes from the hose down onto that nipple there. Okay, so that's released, as you can see up in here. Okay, so come back over to the other side of the bike. You can see the quick release. Oh, I can't really get the camera in there, but the quick release fuel connection, that's the next thing to come undone, but I can't do that. I need two hands to do it, so I'll get back to you. Righto, we've undone all these bolts here, all them. Now it's time to undo these clamps and remove the intake runners. Alright, this is going to be a bit tricky one-handed, but there we go. Take the intake runners off. Alright, now we're up to the airbox. As you can see, the airbox here, going to undo these bolts here. Okay, you've got to undo these hose clamps here. There's two hoses. There's one, as you can see, I've got my pliers on. There was another one here, I've already removed it. So take that clamp off and then remove these hoses so the trapdoor of the airbox can swing down. Alright, as you can see, I've removed the hoses now. Hopefully they will give us a bit more clearance to swing the airbox door down. Sorry about the camera work, it's pretty hard one hand. So I'll swing that down now and we'll come back to you. Righto, much mucking about. I had to force this down, put a block of wood under here just to hold that open so I could slide the old filter out, and as you can see it's pretty well knackered. Now I'll get cracking and put the brand new one in. There's the hopefully that picks it up. There's the part number. Alright, slide the other one in and put it all back together. So there's the difference between the old and the new. That's after 16,000 kilometres. That's what the old one looks like, and as you can see it's pretty well knackered. So yeah, it'd be good to get that thing in. As you can see, there's an arrow on the opposite side. Shows you which way it goes. So the arrow points to the front, of course. I just spotted a bunch of bugs, which I will get the vacuum cleaner in there and suck all them out. And yes, as you can see, I had to disconnect it in the end. Disconnect the fuel line. Just got to put a bit of paper on there to soak up some of the drops. But yeah, that's got to come off so you can get the tank up high enough to give you access to the box. Righto, coming around to the other side of the bike, on the right hand side of the bike, there's a hose right there. I'm going to disconnect that, move it out the way, and we should be able to get the bottom of the airbox off. Make it easier to put the new one in. As you can see, I've just taken this hose off here, so that should pull through from the other side. And I should be able to get that hose out of the way. This sucker here, like this. Alright, get that out of the way. Should have done this before. Right, that's all out of the way. That should make this easier to come off. Right, I need two hands, I'll come back to you. Alright, much better. We've got this completely out of the way now. Just had to disconnect the hose on the other side. Now, it's just a matter of plonking the new one in, like so. I'll finish it off because I need two hands. I'll get back to you. Righto, we've got the base of the airbox hooked in on the other side. Make sure it's hooked in all the way around. There's 3 hooks on the back of this thing here. Make sure they're in place. And it's just a matter of whacking it all back together. Okay, I've done up the 3 nuts. It's all hooked in at the back, so it's all put in correctly. Now I've got to reattach these hoses. Look at that. Okay, I'll reattach them. I need 2 hands to do that, so I'll get back to you. There we go. I've replaced the rubber lines that go into here and here. Reclamp them and come around to here, and this sucker here. That line's been put back on and replaced. And when we drop the tank back down, I've got to reconnect that one there. Alright, we'll lower the tank back down now, reconnect the fuel line, because it's only that long. It's not very long at all. It doesn't give me much room. So that's another thing that I need to explain too. There is a plug which screws into the back here with this here screw. You've got to remove that so you can disconnect the fuel line. Gives you room for you get your fingers in there to disconnect it. So just remember that when you're doing this job. Righto, that's the fuel line's all been reconnected, and that plug here has been, you can just see the top of the torque screw there has been replaced. Now time to put the runners back in, and yeah, happy days. Put your clamps on first, that way it'll give you enough room to push the runners back into the rubbers. Makes it a bit easier. Well, there you have it. All fasteners are all done up. Runners are back in their spot. Time to drop the tank now. Put the gauges back on, and yeah, that's it. pretty easy if you've got a couple of hours. Thanks, Triumph. Righto, don't forget to come back over this side and reconnect this here hose. Right, I need 2 hands to do this, but that hose has got to go on there. Alright, we'll drop it back down now and put the gauges back on, and that's that part of the service done. That's the hardest part anyway. Doing the oil is a piece of cake compared to what I just had to do. Righto, on to the next job on the list. We've got 3 sump plugs under here that have got to be removed, drain the oil, and then we've got a couple of Torx bits under here to loosen off the front of this shield, bring it forward so we can get to the oil filter in there. Alright, so this is the oil that I use, Penrite 15W50. It's good shit, using on all my bikes. There's the oil filter you're going to need, HF204, and a couple of new washers. Alright, I'll get the drain pan out and we'll get cracking. Bit hard to do with one hand, but anyway, it worked. That's 2 done. Okay, and the other one, the third one, is over here on the other side of the bike, the right hand side. Let's see if we can do this without fucking up. Ah, nice. Righto, now we take out these 2 Torx screws here. And the other one on the other side. Righto, now it's time to put the new filter in. Let's whack it in there, screw him up. Of course, I always check and make sure that the rubber O-ring gasket hasn't stuck to the block. Ask me how I know. Okay, do that up nice and tight in your hand. That's all it needs. And then new aluminium washers. Whack them on there and then torque them up. Alright, we'll get that in, and the next step will be to, I'm going to do that up, put them back in, and then whack the new oil in it. I'll come back to you then. Yeah, I just got to put the screws back in. Am I making this look more difficult than what it really is? Because I think I am. That's that one in. I guess I'll be editing all this shit out. What is that in there? Righto, lucky bus. Put the old funnel in there. Get the new juice. Now, it takes 4.7 litres, it says that in the manual, but it always needs to take a little bit more. So bank on around about 5 litres all up, but stop at 4.7 and just keep checking. Righto, we've finished it now. Put it outside, that'll be right, starting to fucking rain. But you're supposed to let it run for 90 seconds and then wait 3 minutes and check it. Righto, let's check the level. It's been sitting now for about 3 minutes. It's around about halfway where it should be. I could put a little bit more in, I suppose. Actually, yeah, fuck it, I think I will. I'll whack a little bit more in. But it's halfway up to where it should be reading, which is fine. Just a smidge more. That'll do. All right. Gotta be careful putting these suckers on. Make sure they're right, because they'll fall off. Right, okay. Righto, now something you've all probably been thinking about is resetting the service light on the dashboard. So you've got to get your tune ECU. You download that off the interwebs. You've got to get one of these. OBD link. All right, plug it into there. Get it up on your smartphone. All right, you've got to register. You have to pay for all this shit, but once you've got it, and you can start doing your own service intervals and stuff like that. So now, once you've got this up and running, go to ECU, tests and adjustments, reset interval, service interval, run. See, it's set on 16,000 now, so I do mine every 8,000, so I'll bring it down to 8. Validate. Yep, that's all good. Validate. Confirm. Yes. Done. Okay, so then we go from here. Go into your service menu. Go down, and as you can see, I've reset it for 8,000 kilometres on the 5th of the 2nd, 2025. That'll do me just fine. All right. Yeah, but anyway, I hope that gives you an idea on how to change the air filter, because that is a bit of a shit job. But once you've done it once or twice, pretty easy. So yeah, I hope it gives you a few ideas. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you can. That'd be really good. And I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.